used to be that you could only find one type of eggplant at the supermarket, and it was this, the good old globe eggplant. Now this is classic, it doesn't have a lot of flavor, so it's going to take on any flavors that you add to it, and you would either stuff it or roast it, grill it, saute it, stir fry it, just about anything. Very versatile, but now you can find some other varieties. These three all have more seeds, and they're a little bit drier. This particular one is an Italian eggplant, and it's a little spicier. This one is Chinese. It's got a nice sweet flavor. And then this little guy here, this is a Thai eggplant. It's full of lots of seeds. It's pretty dry. It's a little bit spicy. It's actually great to eat raw. Then we started seeing some heirloom varieties show up. This one's called Graffiti. Inside it's a little bit sweet. It's actually great to eat raw as well. And then this little one is an Indian eggplant. It has a lot of little seeds in it. It's got great flavor, but again, it's a lot of work if you're making a big dish with lots of them. And this one is called a Japanese eggplant. It's what we're going to use today. It's pretty firm on the inside, a little bit of sponginess like a globe, really good texture. Dan's going to take this and he's going to use it to make a Thai-inspired salad.
That's right. So I love this salad. It's packed with so many different textures and flavors, tons of herbs. It's really, really fresh. It can stand up on its own with some rice. It's great with grilled meats. And it all is based on this intense dressing.
All right.
We're going to start with that.
Sounds good.
So I've got my trusty blender here, and we're going to build a dressing that is based on the Thai dish or sauce called nam prik. And there's a ton of different variations on it, but it's always really intense. Lots of umami from fish sauce, you have acidity from lime juice, lots of aromatics. So this one starts with 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of unseasoned rice vinegar. We also have 2 tablespoons of lime juice. So the next ingredient is a really cool Thai ingredient called palm sugar. So it's made by crystallizing Asian palm sap, and it's got a really nice flavor. It's a little bit more mild than brown sugar. If you can't find it, brown sugar is an okay substitute here, but it comes in these little pucks. You just have to kind of crunch them with your knife and break them up a little bit. So that's gonna go in. So that's 2 tablespoons of palm sugar.
Okay.
I also have a 1-inch piece of ginger that's really coarsely chopped and peeled. And I have 2 garlic cloves that are just super coarsely chopped. Blender's gonna do all of our fine work for us.
I like this.
And a half Thai chili, seeded and then sliced thin. So we're gonna blend this until it's mostly smooth, which takes about 1 minute. Okay, that looks great. So I'm gonna transfer this over to our serving bowl actually, and we're gonna build the entire salad right in here. So we've got our dressing made. Now I'm gonna start with the tomatoes. I've got a cup of cherry tomatoes here. I wanna cut them in half and get them into that dressing nice and early so they can pick up tons of that flavor. So I'm gonna use a fun little trick here. The 2 lid method of cutting all of the tomatoes at once.
This is one of my favorite hacks.
It's so fun. So the bottom lid is facing up, so it has that nice rim there, and then this one goes down here. And then I like to come down here when I do it so you can see that you're going straight through and just start working.
Yeah, you gotta have a really sharp knife for this.
That definitely helps.
Also works with the serrated knife.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Awesome.
Perfect.
Perfect. All
I
those
love
nice
that.
little halves.
Look at that, it's crazy. Every single one is in half.
Nice, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So we'll just transfer this over to our dressing. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the eggplant. So we need 1.5 pounds total for this recipe. I've already prepped some there, but I wanna show you how we do it on this one here. So I like to peel back this cap a little bit here. There's good eggplant under there, and it's easy to just lop it off if you're not careful. I'll just take that bit off. And so I'm gonna have this lengthwise first, and then we're gonna cut 1.5-inch pieces crosswise.
Okay.
So most eggplant recipes, there's some prep involved with the eggplant before you actually go to cook it, right? It's a funky vegetable, it's packed with air pockets. We want those air pockets because when we dress this eggplant later on, we want it to have a place to go, all that dressing to move inside. So we want to preserve those, and we found the best way to do that was actually toss these guys with some salt and then microwave them for a little bit. So I have 1 teaspoon of kosher salt here, and I'll just toss that in here. Looks great. So now for our microwave setup. If we were to put the eggplant just on the plate and cook it, a lot of liquid comes out and it essentially stews in that liquid.
Right.
We want dehydration. And so we found that having something that wicks away moisture was really helpful. Coffee filters are perfect. They're designed for high heat. They do a good job of absorbing moisture. If you don't have coffee filters, you can work with paper towel, but you want to use an unbleached one that has no ink on it. This is a double layer of coffee filters over the whole bottom. So our eggplant doesn't stick to the coffee filters. I'm going to do a light spray of cooking spray. Okay, and we want roughly a single layer here. We don't want everything to be on top of one another. You get more steaming that way.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna go into the microwave now on high power for about 10 minutes. We're looking for these to shrink down quite a bit to about 1 inch in size.
Well, eggplant's porous structure means that it can absorb a lot of oil. And in many recipes, we want to prevent that. So we pre-treat the eggplant with salt. When we sprinkle eggplant with salt and let it rest, the salt draws water out of the cells and into the pores. Pectin and hemicellulose dissolve out of the cell walls and into that water. This process softens the cells, collapsing the pores, and gives the whole eggplant a jellied consistency. Then, when we cook it, there aren't many pockets left for oil to seep into. For this recipe, however, we want the eggplant to have pockets so it can soak up all of that luscious Thai dressing. So we treat it in the microwave instead. As the eggplant cooks in the microwave, water comes out of the cells, but instead of filling the pores, the water boils off, leaving behind a partly dehydrated eggplant with lots of little pockets. When we fry the eggplant on the stovetop, there's still enough water left so that it comes out as steam, creating a barrier that keeps the frying oil from seeping in. The fried eggplant still has lots of pockets intact, so it can readily absorb our flavorful dressing. And that's why the microwave is key to perfectly cooked eggplant that's going to soak up our beautiful dressing and not the bland frying oil.
So we have our beautiful dehydrated eggplant here. So it's a 10-minute cook. About halfway through, I flip them over just so they cook really evenly.
Okay.
I've also got vegetable oil, and that is heating over here. And if you can see, there's not a lot of oil.
No.
That's just 2 cups.
Oh,
we wanted to use as little as possible, and we found that we could get all the way down to 2 cups of oil.
Very shallow,
which
shallow
is
fry.
awesome. Yep, and we want that to be at 375 degrees. And that is perfect. Great.
All right. And they're fairly dry, which is a good thing when you're adding it to hot oil.
Exactly. It'll be less splattering.
That's a good sound.
So I'm going to cook these, stirring pretty frequently until they're deep golden brown and the edges are nice and crispy. It takes anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. Oh, this eggplant looks so good. I'm going to use my skimmer here to get it out and onto some paper towels. Gorgeous. So we want to blot off any excess oil we can. Okay, that looks awesome. Now we just transfer over. So we'll just kind of stir this in here, get it nice and coated. Now for the copious amount of herbs that we're using in this recipe. We have all of this rich, intense flavor. We want to brighten it up with all the herbs. We've got a half a cup of cilantro here. Now this is kind of just picked leaves. We also have a half a cup of mint leaves, leaving them whole, and a half a cup of Thai basil leaves. So I'm just going to toss this together, and then I'm going to take half of these herbs and fold them right in. Let those wilt down just a little bit. All right, so that's mixed in, and the final bit goes right on top. I want to keep that nice and fresh.
Beautiful.
And the final flourish is a half a cup of fried shallots, which are one of the best ingredients you can ever work with in my mind.
As soon as everything hits that hot eggplant, which is still a little bit warm, I'm sure, by this point, it just releases the aroma into the air. That's so good. All right, I'm going for the gold here, right to the eggplant. It's so true. Eggplant, we always talk about it being a sponge. This is working in our favor here.
That's what you want it to do.
It's what you want it to do because you want to get every last bit of that dressing into your mouth. So good.
So good.
Tangy, salty. I love the fish sauce.
Super savory, yeah.
A little bit sweet. The palm sugar is very interesting. And the texture of the eggplant, it's nice and soft, but you're right, still around the edges. It's got a little bit of crispness just there.
And then you get the crispy shallots on top, which can good on top of everything.
Exactly. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Well, this beautiful eggplant salad starts with a very potent dressing. Stir cherry tomatoes into the dressing and set that aside. Salt and microwave eggplant, then fry until crisp. Toss with the dressing, add a cilantro, mint, and basil mixture, and sprinkle with fried shallots. So from America's Test Kitchen to your kitchen, a beautiful, crispy Thai eggplant salad.
Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.